What
Hey,
up,
Faces.
Face? How you doing? Yeah, I'm trying out a new channel here. Um, what's the name of this? Forgot the name of this freaking channel. I went to the gym after seeing Superman. Those workouts are good. Really? Hey, how is Superman? Is it good? I heard mixed reviews.
Corona.
Florida, how you doing? Yeah, I heard mixed reviews. I mean, I'm not a big Superman fan either, but I do like watching the movies.
I still want to go see it. I don't
Yeah,
care what,
so do I.
I don't care
So
what the
do I.
reviews say. I'm going to go see it and make my own choices on it. I like Superman, so I'm going to, you know,
I mean, I've been to a movie that some critics say, oh, it's no good and all that, but when I go see it, it turned out to be real good. So I feel like those critics don't know what they're talking about.
I heard this one. It kind of goes back to like almost like the
Hey, John.
The Christopher Reeves kind of style of the
Right.
series. So really looking forward to that because
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I kind of grew up on and really got me, hooked on the Batman.
Right. Yeah, he kind of looked a little like the old Superman that they let go. What's his name? That one Superman.
I don't
The
remember
one
all
just recently, the one that just
I remember
used
names.
to forgot his name. It's not Mark Hamill because he's from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I had his name. I had Mark Hamill's name in my mind, and I know he's from Star Wars and he's the voice of Joker.
Hey, Daryl.
Daryl, how you doing? Yeah. So today we're gonna watch a video. We're gonna watch Creatures and Cryptid Files, Volume One. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and El Chupacabra. That's what it says up here.
Julie.
Julie, how you doing? Want to check out the video? If you got, how I am with some of these videos, but I enjoy them, you know, the same.
This episode of the Y Files is brought to you by Factor. In 1925, John Burns was a school teacher at the Chileas Indian Reservation deep in the Coast
Hey,
Mountains
Julie, I'm
of
glad
British
you're doing
Columbia.
good.
His students told him stories about a strange giant lurking in the forest. It was a tale told by the local tribe for generations. Burns became curious. Were these stories true? The Indians insisted it was just a myth. But one night, an elder admitted they weren't exactly truthful with him, fearing the white man would mock their beliefs. But over time, Burns earned their trust. The elders told him the story of the giant was no myth. Many of the Indians had seen
What are they
this
talking
creature
about?
with their
Giant,
own
like
eyes,
Bigfoot,
and not from a
Sasquatch,
distance. It
something
had
like that.
chased them.
Yeah,
Burns
looks like a
was shown the
Sasquatch.
house this mountain giant destroyed with its bare
Mountain
hands
giant.
as the family ran in for safety. They had a name for the giant. It was hard to pronounce. In the native Salish language, it was spelled Sesquet, and it meant wild man.
Wow, man.
Mainstream media anglicized the pronunciation and called it Sasquatch, and a legend was born.
There you go. The Wi-Fi. There you go.
Why?
I left the link in the description if you want to go check them out. Subscribe to the
we're
channel.
back. This is Love Lines, and I'm your host, Hecklefish, and I can go all night.
Echofish.
Our next caller is a woman concerned that her husband might be having an affair.
Oh, I just noticed there's a
Okay,
fishbowl.
caller, when do you think your husband's affair began?
Well, about a month ago, he started getting home late, right after dinner.
Yeah, it seems intentional.
Yeah. And then I started
What
seeing
files?
stains on his
Good to
shirt.
see you.
What kind of stains are we talking?
What files here?
Lipstick?
Yeah, Bud
Condiments.
Files. Yeah.
Condiments?
Yeah, it's
Hey,
something you use to enhance the flavor
what's
of
going
food.
on?
I know what condiments are. They're on his shirt.
Italian dressing, mustard, ketchup, that kind of thing. I know he's eating at restaurants every other night.
How do you know?
I see the credit card statements, but when I
Like
question
done,
him about
thank
it, he
you.
becomes defensive.
Clearly, there are trust issues
You guys
in
could,
your marriage.
get a
Let
chance,
me
get a
ask you,
moment,
is he
hit that
spending
like button,
weekends out of town?
No, he's home all day, and that makes it worse.
share me
Well,
out.
how so?
Because everything I cook on the weekends, he never eats.
Let's get about a
so
million
we end up
people
with
in this
all these
video.
leftovers.
Leftovers?
The uneaten food from a meal?
I know what leftovers are.
I don't know what to do. Should I add more spice?
Maybe. It could be that whoever your husband's seeing on the side could be providing that extra
That
thing in the
goldfish.
bedroom.
Bedroom? Wait. He's not having an affair with another woman. He's having a food affair.
Oh, now I see. You're a lousy cook.
Hey, when we got married, I told him, I'll be great in one room, the kitchen or the bedroom. Which one do you want it to be?
Oh, my.
Wow.
Fair enough.
That's a hard choice.
Okay.
That's a hard choice right there.
So he's getting nourishment in the bedroom.
Honey, if they gave out
Breakfast
Michelin
in the bedroom.
ratings, I'd be a 5-star.
Yeah, Madonna than me. Okay, but he still needs actual nourishment. This is an easy fix. You need Factor.
Factor?
Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, ready to eat meals.
that was
to
a
make eating
commercial.
better easy. These
Yeah.
pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals are
That's pretty
delivered
funny.
right to your door. There are also 35
Have you tried
different
Factor?
options a week to choose
No.
from. Keto, calorie, smart, vegan,
I haven't tried any
veggie,
of
and
those
more.
online
So there's something your husband will enjoy.
food services.
And with 55 nutrition-packed add-ons, your weekly meal planning
Cook
can
all
even
my
be
own
more
food.
delicious.
Have
Factor's
anybody
also flexible for your
on the
schedule.
chat have
Get
tried
as much
Factor?
or as little as you need by choosing 6 to 18 meals a week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your
I
deliveries
made a sub
anytime.
sandwich tonight,
So,
and I made
I let Factor
they got
handle what
chopped
they do
chicken-
best, and I'll
chopped chicken and
handle what
bacon.
I do best.
chopped chicken, bacon, and
Oof,
ranch.
I'm
So,
trying to get
sounds
through this
good.
sponsor
I had some
week,
turkey
but,
burger today.
you're
too.
making
This
it
is the second
really
time I
hard.
made it, so it is
Difficulty,
tasty.
making it difficult.
Came out real
I
good.
told you, baby.
Yeah.
5-star.
Oh boy, okay. Okay, let me get back. You distracted me. Let me get back to this.
Go ahead, honey. I can do this all day.
Oh, good heavens. Anyway, Factor is now owned by HelloFresh, so there's a wider
That is
array of
funny.
meal plans to choose from.
Did you know
What
that you do not have
ad?
to wait until you pass to
Well,
receive
yeah.
Ad
a
on
payout
top
from
of
your
an
life
ad.
insurance
Yeah,
policy?
an ad
I'm
on top of the ad.
convinced.
Yeah.
How can I get on top
Adception.
of this?
Okay.
How
Head
you
to
doing?
factor75.com or click the link below and use the code the Y-Files50 to get 50% off your
Is
first
ET
Factor
next to you?
box and free wellness
I saw
shots
ET
for
up
life.
there earlier in the
2 free
comments.
wellness shots
ET's
for
around
free
somewhere.
available flavors
Yeah, I've
for
seen him
every
on the
order
comments,
while
too.
you're an active subscriber.
I'm very active.
The Ashley's
Oh,
fish
I
shopping.
didn't know.
Nice.
So code
What you guys looking for?
Y-Files50?
You got it, sweetheart. Okay, looks like we solved another one here on Love Lines. It's
Love
time for
Lines.
another quick break. But when we come back, we got a caller who's got a YouTube channel, but he's having trouble getting along with his co-host. He wants to know how to break the news that he's gonna fire the guy. Hey, wait a minute. In June of 2020, a husband and wife were on a long-distance hike in the wilderness of Trinity County in California. It was a clear day, just after 10 a.m., when they approached a creek. Then they heard an unfamiliar, high-pitched animal call. It could have been a bird.
Man, that's crazy.
That'd be a big ass
That's no
bird.
bird.
Yeah.
Then they saw it. An
What's
animal
his face?
crouching down, drinking from the creek. They were about 20 feet away. Then it sensed their presence and looked up. Their eyes met.
I see you
Its
brought 2 of your
eyes
friends
were
over, man. I
human-like.
appreciate that.
What?
Humans have very creepy eyes.
No, we don't.
Well, you get the colored ball that just floats around in the white goo.
Psycho fish.
Ugh, I don't know how you can stand it. Those things are gross.
You look in a mirror lately?
When everybody tells me I got gorgeous peepers, I take after my mother.
Now that you brought the exciting part of the story to a screeching halt, do you mind if I get back to it?
Go ahead, gross eye.
All right, I lost my place.
You were talking about how the lady was
E.T.
freaked out at the gross
E.T.
balls in the white goo in that thing's head.
Its eyes.
What'd I say?
The creature jumped. Then it
We're in
ran up a
trouble.
steep hill, first on all fours.
Whoa.
Then when it reached the
Hey,
opposite
Sarah,
bank,
how you
it stood on
doing?
2 legs and ran with long strides up the mountain. They knew it wasn't any of the common animals seen in the area.
Nope, that was a Bigfoot.
It was. They were sure of it. By 2020, this animal,
I gotta go to Bigfoot
disavowed by
country.
mainstream science, was wildly famous, and people saw them all the time. Over the years, investigators have logged and followed up on over 3,000 Bigfoot encounters,
Yay,
including
face made it
over
over.
100 tracks
I know, I know.
encased in plaster and archived. In fact, it all started with a footprint. In August of 1958, Jerry Crew worked construction near Buff Creek, deep in the woods of Northern California.
Those are
About a
some
quarter
real
mile
big
beyond
feet,
camp,
man.
he saw animal tracks at the end of the road. When he climbed in his tractor and saw the tracks from above, he realized they weren't from an ordinary animal. These were human-like feet, and they were huge, 16 inches long, which meant an animal at least 8 feet tall. Crew told his boss. And eventually, over 20 men from the job site reported seeing huge footprints by the Mad River nearby.
That's a good
Crew
footprint
realized
right
the
there.
prints he
That's
found
huge.
needed to be saved for investigation. So he encased them in plaster, and they informed the local newspaper what they found, and they printed the story. Suddenly, this local incident
it's
became a
huge.
national sensation.
That's where you got
Reporters from
Bigfoot.
all the wire services arrived. Representatives from the New York Times, LA Times, San Francisco papers, everywhere. Bigfoot had become a celebrity. Now, of course, plaster feet didn't convince everyone it was real. People wanted hard evidence. They wanted a photograph. A few years later, they got much more than that.
What? The F?
What? Y files? What? Right?
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Roger Patterson was among the many Americans
There's no T
obsessed
in
with
there,
Bigfoot in the 1960s. But he took his passion further than most. He lived in Yakima, Washington, right where these creatures were most often seen. And he was determined to prove
That's where we
they
gotta go,
existed.
Sean.
So he got a
gotta
camera,
go
he
to
hunted for
Yakima.
tracks, he interviewed witnesses. In 1966,
There
he
was just
released a
sighting I
book
heard
with
down,
detailed
down
accounts
in
of
Illinois
footprints
somewhere or
and
something,
actual
recently,
Bigfoot
a couple weeks
sightings.
ago.
He asked his friend
Really?
Bob Gimlin to
Yeah.
join him on a 2-week
Another
trip
one.
to investigate some tracks he heard about. And in
gotta go to
October
Southern
of
Illinois, I guess.
67, they got way more than they bargained for. A few days into their trip, they were exploring a remote region of Bluff Creek on horseback. Both Patterson and Gimlin were armed with rifles and cameras. A pile of fallen trees blocked their trip in the canyon, so they stopped to find a way around. And that's when they saw it. About 80 feet away, Bigfoot
The
was
most
crouched by a
famous
creek.
video
It was
of them all.
massive.
This one right
It
here.
sensed they were watching it, then it stood up and just stared at them.
Oh, with the creepy human eyes?
Yes. Then Patterson's horse started bucking. He managed to pull his camera out of the saddlebag before his horse ran off in fear. Then Gimlin's horse got agitated. He hopped off and his horse bolted too. Things were getting chaotic. The Bigfoot had seen enough and started heading for the dense forest. Patterson was running out of time. He ran toward it with the camera filming, trying to keep the creature in the shot. Then his foot caught a branch and he tripped and fell.
Always.
Yeah, that always. It's like those scary movies. Oh,
The Bigfoot turned to stare at him. It looked 7 feet tall and it looked female. It seemed to have breasts. They nicknamed her Patty.
I didn't notice
And this
that.
last look back mid-stride
Yeah, it
has
does,
become
right there.
iconic. It's the image we all think
That's some
about
big
when we
movies.
think of Bigfoot.
Ah, so that's where that
They
image
followed
comes
the
from.
tracks for 600
Oh.
yards into the canyon and saw the prints go
My hair
uphill.
pressure.
They did not pursue. If a female was this big, they didn't want to risk running into a male. But they did take casts of the footprints. Based on the depth and size, scientists estimated the creature weighed 600 pounds.
Whoa.
But even better, they had film footage. And to this day, the footage
Look at
has
that
not
footage.
been debunked. Experts have analyzed the footage over and over, and the details remain compelling. This just doesn't seem like a guy in a costume. The creature in the film has contracting calf muscles. Its arms are longer than an average human, and its legs are shorter, consistent.
I like this video. He's breaking it down. No other video does that. Yeah, I mean, he's showing all the detail that no other person have shown anybody else. That's pretty cool.
With an ape. It had a peak on the back of its head like the sagittal crest of a gorilla.
Hmm.
And there's more.
When it walks, it flexes its midfoot like an ape.
Wow.
The fur on its back below its head is darker and standing up, just like it would on a
Right.
gorilla who's agitated or afraid. If this was a prank, those are a lot of details to get right. So why don't we just say it's an ape? Because apes don't walk upright, not like humans. And Bigfoot clearly does. Not to mention, there haven't been apes or primates in the wild of North America for 26 million years. But here it was, upright walking Bigfoot in the wild. To this day, Patterson's film is the most important piece of evidence of the creature's existence. So what is this half-human, half-animal creature? Some speculate it's from a different dimension or some kind of shapeshifter. Some correlate Bigfoot sightings to UFO landings, but we don't need to speculate. We know a lot about Bigfoot's behavior because people are still seeing them.
True. Now, just because he's breaking it down doesn't mean that I believe still. I just like the way he broke it down because nobody in any other video that I have seen has broken down the way he says, that was a female. I didn't know that was a female. The way the cat is formed and moves up and down, the feet, everything about it is, I mean, that's like a whole new information for me right there.
Right.
Every witness account of Bigfoot, and again, there have been over 3,000 logged by investigators, describes a creature between 6 and 8 feet tall. All the sightings report similar behavior. They're curious, but often watch us from afar, like the Sasquatch seen in 2013 by a hunter in the Cispus River area of the Cascade Mountains. The witness used his game call, which let out a squeal like a rabbit. And 60 feet away, behind a tree, he saw a Sasquatch take notice, and it watched for nearly a minute before walking away.
What he doing? Infrared?
Bigfoot has very long strides and can cover distances impossible
like
for
it, I don't know.
humans, as witnessed by a father and son fishing in Sacramento County, Washington in 2002. They saw a Sasquatch from 100 yards away. It was startled by their truck's engine, and they watched it move in
Excuse me.
6-foot strides straight up a hill and disappear up a mountain. People consistently describe its eyes as very close to humans.
All you wanted was to add a column while planning your next sprint. Maybe it's time to move to Monday Dev. Here are 5 Monday Dev features.
Like the former U.S. Army infantry sergeant camping in the Mount Adams wilderness in July
At
1991.
the Smoky Mountains?
He was walking up to a river
like it.
and froze when he saw it across the bank 20 feet away. He described it in all the familiar ways, between 6 and 8 feet tall, with broad shoulders and long arms. And like many who've been that close, he added that the Sasquatch had human-like eyes.
Yeah.
And there's the scream.
Wow.
A hunter heard it on November 16th, 2014, in the woods of Winlock, Washington. He described it as yelling mixed with a growl. He watched deer run away from the sound and said the scream was something I never want to hear again. Campers in Humboldt County in 2007 reported prolonged screams from Bigfoot every morning for 2 days. It sounded like a wild animal, but with eerie enunciation, almost like a language.
That's crazy, man.
Now, skeptics say after the 1967 film became famous, all the other accounts are just copies. Before the Patterson film, nobody talked about Bigfoot.
Right.
So researchers scoured old newspapers looking for reports that might match modern Bigfoot, and they found way more than they expected. Isolated reports of mountain giants matching Bigfoot went back decades, maybe centuries. The first published report was from 1846. A 22-inch long footprint was found in eastern Arkansas, and there have been actual sightings every year since. Clearly, Bigfoot has been running into humans for a long, long time. But despite all these examples, mainstream science refuses to acknowledge Bigfoot exists. The species is called Gigantopithecus americanus, but officially that's a species that doesn't exist. So in 1985, zoologist J.E. Wall coined a term.
He coined it for any animal that remains unexplained by science. He called them cryptids.
Yeah.
This branch of
Was
study
that a
is
rake?
called cryptozoology,
Yeah, it looked like
taken
it.
from the Greek word crypto, meaning hidden. Now, why the need to create a name for a whole category of mysterious, unexplained creatures? Well, because Bigfoot is far from the only one.
Wi-Fi.
In 1933, there was a major change around Scotland's biggest freshwater lake. They built a road. For the first time ever, a large number of people were passing through. People built lake houses. Some would go on hikes and have picnics around the shore. Tourists would visit Urquhart Castle on the north end. And that's when it started. People started reporting something in the water. One group of witnesses was staying at a house overlooking the northeast end of the lake. A woman named Miss Gracie saw it first. It was about 1,200 yards away, swimming toward Fort Augustus on the south end of the long lake. And it was moving fast. The group figured it was going about 15 miles an hour.
Wow.
They watched it for a full 4 minutes as it swam away. Another witness said it looked like a huge caterpillar. It moved with an up and down motion. At first, people thought it was a huge eel, but eels move side to side, not up and down.
Right.
This creature propelled itself by bending its long body in a series of humps, with water spaced in between each one. The group counted 7 humps visible several feet above the water. This thing was long. Finally, it submerged around 2,000 yards away. Reports like this kept coming into the local paper. Nearly all mentioned the dark humps. Some even saw its head and neck. B.A. Russell didn't buy into the rumors there was some creature out there. He figured it was probably a seal or a boat distorted by the sun on the waves. Then he paid a visit to the lake. He was walking on the rocks near Fort Augustus. He was 100 feet above the lake with a clear view, and he saw a snake-like head not much bigger than its long neck cutting through the water. It was 800 yards out, swimming slowly by. It had dark skin with a rough texture. The creature swam in a straight line, then disappeared under the water. This was no seal. He told the newspaper he had never expected something as remarkable as what he witnessed that day. He had just seen the Loch Ness Monster.
I mean, would you guys would like to see Nessie?
You might think finding a giant sea creature in a lake would be easy.
Far away.
But Loch Ness is not your
Yeah,
typical
probably
lake.
from far away.
It's huge.
I wouldn't
It's
be in
the
a boat
largest
though.
freshwater lake
Yeah,
in the British
boat is
Isles.
near me. Yeah.
It stretches
Yeah.
24 miles long, and in some places it's 2 miles wide. And it's deep, between 700 and 900 feet before you hit the bottom.
Ding, ding.
Plenty of room for a creature whose natural habitat is in deep water.
Ding, 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 ding.
And cut into the underwater cliffs are giant caves, big enough for a whale or something even bigger.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, enough with that.
Sorry. I was an extra on Jaws, so this story takes me back.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's how I got my SAG card. You know all the fish in the underwater scenes?
Yeah, underwater scenes is where you typically see fish.
Yeah, one of those was me.
With all those fish, how are we supposed to know which one is you?
Because only 2 fish in that movie had teeth. Me and the big guy.
You know the shark was fake.
Yeah, he was a real Hollywood phony.
No, can I get back to this?
Oh, excuse me. I thought the people would like a little flavor. For a water story, this one's pretty dry.
Even when your room is 80 degrees, your bed can be 55. That's the pod, a cooling cover that...
During the 1930s and for decades after, this creature would appear on the surface, and people would line up around the lake armed with telescopes and binoculars, all hoping to get a glimpse of the sea monster they called Nessie. The official Loch Ness sightings register grew to over 1,100 sightings. The most famous is the iconic image of the serpent head and long neck rising up from the water. This is called the surgeon's photo,
bird?
after the doctor who took it in 1934. But the thousands of eyewitness accounts and photos were not enough for mainstream scientists to take this giant marine animal seriously, all except for one. Tim Dinsdale would soon become the most important figure in the Nessie saga. He was a British
I've seen him
biologist,
before.
and he was obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster.
He interviewed over 100
FBI,
witnesses.
paranormal.
He was sure
Hey,
there
how
was
you
a large
doing?
unknown animal
The
in
other
that
guy, the
lake.
other guy.
So in April of 1960, he went to see for himself. Day after day, he scanned the lake.
Batrican.
Nessie was a no-show. On the 5th day, something on the lake
Eric,
caught
what's
his
up, my
eye.
Hey,
brother?
Eric.
How you
Then
been, bro?
it started to move.
How's Florida?
Dinsdale grabbed his 16mm camera with telephoto lens and started filming. And what he saw was astounding. This thing made a wide V-shaped wake,
Right?
much different than a boat, and he'd seen plenty of
I'm
those
not
on the
gonna
lake
argue
to know the
there.
difference. And there was no sign of a propeller wash you'd expect from an engine. Humps were coming out as it moved, high above the water. He noticed a swirling in the water on each side as if it was paddling below the surface. He estimated it was going at least 10 miles an hour.
Hope you're doing
And
well,
as it
man,
reached
Eric.
the far shore and turned west, the
How's your
creature did
brother?
something no boat could do. It submerged. Tim moved closer, hoping that the monster would reappear, but it never did. But he did have 60 seconds of film showing the elusive Loch Ness monster. And the film was a sensation. It was shown on British television and captivated the nation. British intelligence examined the film. It was authentic, and it showed something with humps 3 feet above the water.
Everything's
The
great
film
with me,
led
man.
to the
I'm glad
launching
you're
of the
doing
Loch Ness
good, bro.
Investigation Bureau. People came from all over the world hoping for a glimpse of
We
Nessie.
still got that Wi-Fi series that you worked
Yet
on at
mainstream
work.
science remained skeptical. Photos and films could be faked. They
Hey,
wanted
King John.
something more definitive. And the only way to get more evidence was
Hey,
to go
King
down
John,
below.
how you doing?
The Academy of Applied Science came up with a high-tech plan to prove there was a giant
really,
animal
Sarah? So
living
do
in the
I. I
caves
actually
at the
have family
bottom
in
of
Florida,
Loch
too.
Ness. They started with a sonar array dropped from a single boat to a depth of about 200 feet. And on this first mission, they had
I think
several
they need a bigger
contacts
boat.
in mid-water with something too large to be classified as a fish. They knew they were onto something. In the next mission, they planted a sonar unit behind an underwater camera. It had a powerful flash unit at the bottom of the
Oh,
lake,
man, awesome,
120 feet deep.
Tell your wife
the
I said
sonar
hi.
would run nonstop. The camera took a flash photo every 55 seconds. And on August 8th, the camera caught something. Two enormous
Another day in
creatures swimming
paradise.
by.
That's awesome, man.
But the image was dark. The waters of Loch Ness are murky. It was impossible to make out any detail. So they sent the photos to NASA, and some of the most advanced computers
I
in the
missed you,
world were
Eric,
put to
man.
work on the images.
Hold on.
What?
Nobody has faked more images than NASA. Why send it to NASA?
NASA had the right equipment.
Yeah, the right equipment to fake stuff.
I can't argue with that.
Oh,
NASA fake images linked below.
it's 1:15 there. Where you
NASA
at?
was able to isolate the fog and muddiness
Yeah,
of
we
the
looked
water.
out today. It was
and the
hot
detail
yesterday.
was revealed.
Today
Yeah.
was pretty
And the
nice.
results were
Yeah,
mind-boggling.
today was great. I was
Scientists
able
were
to work
looking
out
at
outside
flippers
too.
over 6 feet long. Whatever animal this was, it was huge. Encouraged, they launched another expedition. This time, the sonar didn't detect anything, but the camera caught a blurry image that looked pretty compelling.
Oh, it's a Texas.
It seemed like a
Texas,
large
wow.
body
Okay.
of a creature, and this time there seemed to be a small head perched at the end of a long neck. They checked the next picture in the sequence, the same giant object,
What
but
the
this
hell?
time the head had more definition. One scientist said it looked like a crocodile. One more picture
did
caught
look
the
like a
creature
crocodile.
passing by, and this was the stunner. A detailed head with a pair of small
Wow.
horns and what looked like eyes. It was
Dino.
dark and blurry, but it looked like an animal's head. On October 9th, 1987, they launched the
Dang.
most extensive search of Loch Ness ever taken. It was called Operation Deep Scan. For 2 days, scientists covered the body of the lake with a flotilla of 24 boats.
It's pronounced flotilla.
No, it isn't.
Entropia Universe
Flotilla.
is a real cash economy MMO, released in 2003 where the in-game currency has an exchange rate with the dollar, and every item has a real-world value.
My thing's not what. Oh, there you go.
They had enough boats to cover the entire width of the lake. Each boat had advanced sonar arrays capable of finding objects 1,300 feet away, as small as a foot long, with separation between objects as small as an inch. If there was anything down there, they would find it. The operation attracted reporters and
crazy.
television crews from around the world. Everyone awaited the results, and they were not disappointed. One of the boats reported 3 strong contacts between 250 and 590 feet. Something was down there. The reading suggested a creature larger than a shark, but smaller than a whale.
That looked like
and
a
the
surgeon's
object was tracked
fish.
for over 2 minutes. The next 2 days of the operation brought no more readings. Whatever was down there had retreated into the caves. The sonar just wasn't strong enough to reach the caves.
Oh, what a waste of a good flotilla.
Flotilla.
Agree to disagree.
Lotera.
So, what was this creature? Based on the descriptions, it matched nothing else on Earth, at least nothing that lives here now. But there was a time when animals like this were thriving. They were everywhere. They were in Loch Ness. The time was called the Jurassic. Until the 1800s, we figured all the animals on Earth were, well, all the animals on Earth. We didn't realize there were entire worlds of dinosaurs walking the planet, not until we found the bones. One of the first fossils discovered was the plesiosaurus.
Oh man, awesome,
named in
Eric, man. Thanks.
1821. This creature was a marine reptile
I'm glad you
with a
guys
long,
like the
flat
videos,
body,
man.
4 flippers, and yes, a
Can you
long
imagine
neck
being the first
and
person to
serpent
find
head.
one of these
This
dinosaur
description
skulls?
matches the
No, you
thousands
massive
of
teeth.
sightings of the Loch
Yeah.
Ness Monster. Only the plesiosaurus lived 200 million years ago. Could any have survived the Ice Age and made their way to the ocean up the River Ness, which connects to the lake?
I mean, if you
Now,
find
mainstream
the
science
skull or
remains
anything,
skeptical. But
I
is
mean,
Nessie an
you would
actual
think you'd be
plesiosaurus?
rich, right? You
We don't
get
know.
a lot of money for
No
it.
bones have been found in Loch
Yeah,
Ness.
but
At
being
least
the first
not
one,
yet.
is that, we didn't know that dinosaurs walked the
Yet
earth.
sightings of
until we
Nessie
found the
continue
bones.
to this day.
Right.
There were 10 official sightings of the Loch Ness Monster in 2023 alone. On
Oh,
April
look at
5th
that.
of 2023, a woman was driving by the lake when she saw a dark shape emerge from the surface. She saw humps rise from the water, like the back of a whale. She watched it move for about 30 seconds before it submerged. And like so many who witnessed the creature these days, she took a picture. You can see it on the official Loch Ness Sightings Registry, link below. They even have live webcams at the lake. You can check it out online. Maybe you'll catch a glimpse of Nessie yourself. Now, that's the thing that the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot have in common.
You can't
People
find
want to see them. But there is another kind of cryptid that you never, ever want to see.
Chupacabra, that's the one. Is that it?
On the morning of March 11th,
Doris, how you
1995,
doing?
a
Rake
group
or
of
a
farmers
Wendigo
arrived
or-
at work in central
Right.
Puerto Rico, and they found a massacre. All the
Oh,
sheep
really?
on the
You
farm
do?
were dead. There were 8 bodies, clearly attacked by something
Hey,
in the
Doris.
night.
Good to
But
see
it
you.
wasn't obvious what killed them. There were no signs of a struggle, no wounds or bites you'd expect from a typical predator. And there was something
There's a
off
lot of
about their
dust in your
skin.
pool. I like
It
that.
seemed translucent and strangely loose and wrinkled. One of the farmers figured it out. Each corpse had a wound on its torso, 2 small incisions, like from fangs.
Vampire.
And every single sheep had the blood
was a
drained from its
vampire.
body, every drop. The local police were notified, and their first instinct was to play it down. There'd been livestock
wasn't this
killings over the years forever. One more wasn't that alarming. But then there was another, and another. That first month, more than 40 animals were slaughtered in night attacks. A farmer lost 5 sheep he'd raised since he was a kid.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
People boarded up their homes in panic. Guards were hired to protect livestock and escort children to school. These weren't stories. Actual animals were getting killed. They were under attack by a creature they called the goat sucker, or
El Chupacabra.
right. No one knew what this thing looked like. But 6 months into the attacks, someone actually saw one. Madeline Tolentino was a housewife in Canovanas, just east of San Juan. She lived in the heart of the Chupacabra's attack zone.
Let me guess. She was home making fresh tortillas, right?
Look, the
Flotillas.
word is pronounced flotilla. Can you just let me...
Yeah, whatever.
She was sitting at her window in the early afternoon when she saw the bizarre creature moving down her street.
Madeline. Her name
It was
is Madeline.
between 3 and 4 feet tall, walking on 2 powerful legs with small, slender arms. Its eyes were dark and they looked damp, and they ran up to its temples and up the side like alien eyes. She said its feet were webbed and it had no nose, just 2 breathing holes. and spikes of feathers ran from the top of its back down its spine. A neighborhood boy was watching the whole thing, and he chased after it. And when he caught up to it in the woods, the chupacabra opened its mouth and threatened him with long fangs. The boy froze, and the chupacabra escaped.
Chico suerte.
Right.
What? What? I mean, he chased it. I mean,
There were many,
well, I
many
think I
other
would have
witnesses.
chased it too.
But since
I don't know.
Tolentino had the longest sighting, she worked with UFO researcher Jorge Morton to develop a sketch of the creature. It was published in the San Juan newspaper. The image quickly spread around the world. To this day, it's the iconic image of the Puerto Rican chupacabra.
In many occasions, these are puncture wounds. In most occasions, we have found that they seem to go right to the brain of the animals and kill the animals. In other occasions, they go right straight into the animals in different areas as if looking for certain organs.
By the end of 1995, the chupacabra caused more than 1,000 animal deaths, all resulting from blood loss. People around the world were riveted by the story of the Puerto Rican.
So, if the chupacabra bites an animal and sucks the blood, does it come back to life and becomes a chupacabra itself, like a vampire?
From the video, it didn't look like it.
I know, right?
Attacks, but they were relieved this was happening on an isolated island nation. Then somehow,
if they came back
it got off the island.
Just animals just be disappearing.
Right.
In March 1996, police in Miami,
like your
Florida
wife?
responded to reports of a violent incident. They arrived at a family home in the neighborhood of Sweetwater. They had never seen such carnage. There were 69 animals scattered around the yard, a mix of goats, chickens, geese, and ducks, all with their blood drained. Until that moment, the chupacabra had not been seen outside Puerto Rico, where it spent the last 6 months terrorizing the island. Now it was on the mainland. In Mexico, sheep and goats were found dead. The Associated Press reported dead animals all had 2 tooth marks about 1/3 of an inch across their necks and appeared to be drained of blood. Panic was spreading. Search parties went out every night, but they never found it. They just kept finding dead animals every day. And the chupacabra seemed to be moving south. In Brazil, 9 pigs were found dead in Sao Paulo. Again, the newspapers reported carcasses drained of blood. Not far from the pig massacre, a housekeeper on a ranch heard loud noises outside the main house. She went outside. The sounds were coming from the corral. As she approached the gate, she could hear the sheep bleeding. But there was another sound, a loud rumble of a growl she'd never heard before. When she unlocked the gate and entered the pen, the 12 sheep were dead. But whatever killed them was gone. In Chile, a farmer heard dogs howling on his ranch at night.
The animal
next day,
than
he found
human,
35
no?
sheep dead, again drained of blood with bite marks on their necks. Footprints were discovered at the scene, but the government said the tracks were from dogs. But of course, dogs aren't known for sucking blood.
Right.
I thought they're the chupacabra.
But Chilean UFO researchers had a different explanation.
Yes, so
They'd been
that's
keeping
what I thought
watch
so
on the
too.
Chilean military, because the military was spending a suspicious amount of time
They
in the
show
Atacama
dry,
Desert
you know,
in northern
more
Chile.
lizard-like.
There were rumors of a secret facility out there, and the military was out there searching for something. During one search, they uncovered 3 eggs with odd coloring. They did not look like bird eggs. According to the UFO researchers, the military was forced to turn the eggs over to NASA.
I've never heard of
because
that
these
before.
eggs were from a chupacabra.
NASA again?
Well, NASA was well aware of the chupacabra
Wait, what?
because they created it.
No, it all makes sense.
The secret facility in Atacama was a top secret lab where NASA was trying to genetically modify animals that could survive on Mars.
That's
Was
crazy.
the
They
chupacabra an
created
experiment
that?
gone wrong?
Look.
Well, we've heard the stories about Plum Island and the Montauk Monster.
Right. I heard of that story.
It seems like whenever the government tinkers with nature, it doesn't go well for the rest of us.
Gain of function.
Mm-hmm. Scientists have identified over 700 species of dinosaurs, and the number grows every year. Now, how do they know all these animals existed? through fossil findings, bones, hard evidence. That's what we need to prove if any of these cryptids are real. So what do we have? Let's start with Bigfoot.
Real.
Well, there's no hard evidence of a Bigfoot. When scientists have tested hairs people claim to have come from a Bigfoot, they turned out to be from a deer or other familiar animals every time. There's nothing beyond witnesses' accounts and plaster feet and blurry images to prove that Bigfoot exists.
There you go.
The movie, dear. The Bigfoot movie.
The Patterson-Gimlin film. This whole story is a mess. First, for people who say it's a bad fake, with all due respect, they're wrong. If it's a fake, it's a great one. The film is still being debated. Patterson went to his deathbed saying it was real.
That film is
Gimlin
fake.
also said it was real,
There's no way
but
to fake
admitted
it back
he
then.
might have been hoaxed by Patterson. Also, we don't have the original film. We have no idea when it was developed, only Patterson's word. But we do know when and where Patterson rented the camera. Now, when people who knew Patterson were interviewed, they didn't have nice things to say about him. He borrowed money and didn't pay it back. He lied, he didn't pay his bills, he was lazy, that kind of thing. So the people who knew him didn't trust him. Not a good start to the story. Now, Patterson tells the story about shooting the film, riding 3 miles back to camp to get the plaster, then back to the creek. Then they set the plaster, wait for it to dry, then back up to camp. They loaded their horses in the trailer, then drove 25 miles through dirt roads to get to Yakima around 4 in the afternoon. Or 6, depending on when you asked. Either way, the timeline is impossible. Remember, they had to go find their horses and then go 3 miles back to camp, and then 3 miles back to the creek and wait for the plaster, then back to camp. Then it doesn't work. Now, when confronted with the timeline issue, Patterson and Gimlin changed their stories a few times.
Oh, it's an exciting day. They got some times wrong. Who cares? The Bigfoot movie's
tremor,
real.
yeah,
But
right.
just 10 days after the sighting, Patterson, with an investor, formed Bigfoot Enterprises and started raking
Tremor's a
in
good movie,
dough.
the first one.
Lots of it. For years, everyone involved sued everybody else over the rights to the film. Like I said, it was a mess.
You can choose to raid the caravan, or you can choose to guard it. This is a game where slaying monsters.
In 2004, writer Greg Long unraveled everything.
Oh, no.
Now, remember, in 1966, Patterson wrote a book about Bigfoot. Well, he had been making trips to Hollywood to try and get a movie or documentary made about his book, and the studios didn't want it. But American National Enterprises, or A&E, liked the idea. They were a wildlife film company. They gave Patterson the money to rent the gear and gave him a crash course on movie pre-production. A&E also bought a gorilla suit from Philip Morris, a Hollywood costume designer. Morris altered the suit to fit Patterson's friend, Bob Hieronymus. The arms were lengthened, which is why the Bigfoot's hands kind of flop when they swing. He wore a football helmet to make his head look bigger, and he stuffed footballs in the shoulders and the chest to add more size.
Wow, Hollywood.
And people call this Bigfoot patty because they believe those are breasts. But primate breasts aren't covered in fur, even when the rest of the animal is. Those aren't boobs, they're footballs.
Oh, no.
Now, they needed to make these enhancements because Bob wasn't a huge guy, just over 6 feet tall. Patterson said this creature was 7 feet tall, but LiDAR scans of the area proved that she, or he, was actually about 6'2" or 6'3" at the most. Bob Hieronymus finally came forward because Patterson promised to pay him $1,000 to wear the suit. And typical of Patterson's reputation, he stiffed him. Also, the camera store where Patterson rented the camera, they actually filed charges of theft against him. Patterson quickly parted ways with A&E, who lost all their investment. And there are more problems. Things like the arches on the feet don't match the casts that Patterson had. Patterson's own father-in-law said he saw the casts and they figured out how to make them heavy enough to leave prints. And that's just the tip of the debunk. I put a few links below that debunk even more details, more than you can ever want.
No.
But there are a few problems debunking.
Yes.
Bob Hieronymus' description of the area and the way to get to the film site was wrong. He swore he could find the location, but he couldn't. None of the landmarks were in the right place. The location, he said, was off by 23 miles.
So what? All those woods look the same.
They do, but he was asked if he wore the suit during a lie detector test, and he passed.
Were you the Bigfoot shown in the 1967 Patterson film? Yes.
Lie detector proves nothing.
Whoa,
But Patterson
hold on, man.
also passed a lie detector
Hold
test.
Hold on, wait a minute. If that is true, then there's no such thing as Bigfoot. I've been telling everybody this. But you know, I cannot say that for the rest of the world that been seeing sightings of Bigfoot. But I'm just tripping because based off that 19 what is it, 47, 67, something like that. That's what everybody based their reality from.
I've seen other footage though. I'm still not fully convinced. I've seen some other footage that it's like, okay, how is that possible? Where that, like the one who's walking across the mountain, you can see.
Right.
You know, even for a biped creature moving that fast, could not be a human. So that's unexplainable still.
Oh man, but this guy he passed the lie detector. He said that he wore the freaking Bigfoot suit, and he passed the lie detector test. Now that's freaking crazy. I never heard this before.
Also, lie detectors are not 100% true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not 100%.
But yeah, it's it's a pretty good indicator.
Right. So, Batty, you've been around Hollywood. What is their opinion on Bigfoot? We never got. I've been around not Hollywood itself, but around Hollywood people and stuff like that, and I've been in a few movies, but then we never talked about Bigfoot. So I don't know what their opinion is.
Lie detector proves everything.
Really?
I want a Bigfoot to be real.
Do you want Bigfoot to be real, or do you want to know the truth?
I think a whole bunch of people want Bigfoot to be real, though.
Pardon?
Massive
The
people.
truth. I want the truth.
Fine.
But he's real.
The original footage was a shaky mess, but modern technology allows us to stabilize and enhance it.
In this legendary space MMO, the heroic acts and merciless betrayal.
It was modern technology that debunked it.
Now, if this is a suit, it's a good one. Believers have pointed out that you can see musculature. You can see that it plants its foot more like a gorilla than a human. Humans plant their heel, then their toes, then use their arch for stabilization. Big primates' feet bend mid-foot.
Really, John?
And it looks like Patty's feet do this. Now, when I see these analyses done, they're pretty convincing. But we often see what we want to see. If the film is a fake, it's a really, really good one.
Yeah.
And honestly, I only lean toward fake because Patterson was not an honest man. If this turned out to be real, I wouldn't be shocked. It's very convincing. We'll likely never know. Bigfoot is an industry now. Almost everything is a hoax. We have no clear footage of this animal. People constantly complain, everyone has a phone in their pocket. Why don't we have a clear image of Bigfoot?
Exactly.
The answer is probably because a clear image would reveal that it's fake. The Patterson encounter was over 60 years ago, and that's still the best we've got. I want to see more. A skeleton, hair, even feces. No physical evidence of Bigfoot exists.
A pile of Bigfoot poop would be hard to miss.
It would. Now, I've covered a lot today, and there's more than enough information out there for you to make up your own mind. And honestly, Bigfoot believers aren't changing their minds. But the Patterson film has won over a few skeptics.
I hope you break this one down.
Now, the Loch Ness Monster. I think everybody already knows the famous surgeon's photograph is a fake. We only ever see the uncropped version of the photo where Nessie looks pretty big. But in the real image, she's tiny. That's a toy submarine with a little fake dinosaur shape on it. Here's a rendering of what it looked like.
Wow, look at that.
In the film of Nessie,
Look at that.
as soon as we had the technology to increase the contrast in the black and white 16mm film, new details appeared that were invisible in the original film. It was a boat. Now, I love the idea that Nessie is a plesiosaurus, but they were air breathers. So if that's what it or she is, we'd see them all the time. Besides, Loch Ness was created about 10,000 years ago when the ice sheets receded. Plesiosaurus went extinct 65 million years ago. And a lot of the enhanced photos we've seen, They're either hoaxes or lots of liberties were taken with the enhancement.
NASA did the photos.
That's true. And we know NASA fakes photos. But I don't know why NASA would want to prove the existence of the Loch Ness Monster.
This guy's just going
now,
all
even though
out,
there are
man.
still sightings of it, there
This
are
guy's
actually
going
fewer
all
and fewer
out.
every year. That's the sign of an urban legend dying. Now, locals think it's a giant eel, and scientists have found a lot of eel DNA in the lake. But there are still scientific teams hunting. Just 6 months ago, a big expedition went out to find Nessie, but they came up empty. Still, I don't think we can completely rule out that something big is living in Loch Ness. Now, for the goat sucker.
El chupacabra.
Madeline Tolentino was the first witness to describe the animal with webbed feet, alien eyes, spikes on its back, all that. But most chupacabra reports in later years sounded more like dogs, coyotes, or wolves.
Right.
Now, in 1996, Madeline Tolentino gave an interview that throws a lot of cold water on the story. She'd seen the movie Species a few weeks earlier. She thought that what she was seeing was an actual alien hybrid, like in the movie. She even described it with similar features. Also, a few weeks before she saw the chupacabra, there were reports of cattle mutilations in the area. Now, of course, the UFO researchers were all over that. It turned out to be coyotes and other predators.
Hey, who did that interview with her?
UFO Digest.
Oh.
Whenever UFO
Digest.
reporters are around, you're going to get UFO reports. That's how they make their living. Now, there's no corroborating evidence of any of the other attacks. Nobody's ever come forward. There's no physical evidence. Patrick Hugh and Lauren Coleman are well-known cryptozoologists who have interviewed a lot of witnesses. They have a term they call the lumping problem. People tend to lump a bunch of stories into one. Now, on this channel, have you noticed how many people are abducted as children, taught psychic powers, become super warriors on Mars, then time travel back to their childhood bodies? These people are lumping all the UFO tropes into one story, and they're doing it for money and attention. Madeline Tolentino was lumping the cattle mutilations with the packs of coyotes in her town with a science fiction movie she just saw, which, by the way, she thought was real. It got her a lot of attention, but the story wasn't true. So Chupacabra, no. Loch Ness Monster?
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
This guy's going to say, too, it's plausible. I think there might
Maybe
be
something. Bigfoot, probably no, but maybe. I went into this episode absolutely certain I could debunk
from Puerto Rico.
Bigfoot. If you follow the channel, you know I'm not a fan of the Bigfoot story. I thought it was going to be a layup. But now I'm not so sure. Now, I'm not saying I'm a believer, but seeing the stabilized and enhanced Patterson film has made me a little more open-minded. But no matter how good AI or photo enhancement software gets, we're never going to get a cleaner version of the Patterson film. So that's all we've got to determine if it was a hoax. Now, people on both sides are going to be debating that film and that story until the end of time. It's a story without an ending, without closure, without resolution. It's a story where the ending is up to you. Hollywood hates those kinds of stories. But me, I think they're perfect.
Nice. Wow. Kind of like it. That's it. We're done.
Thanks so much for hanging out today. My name is
Thanks so
AJ.
much.
That's Cyclefish.
Hola, amigo, ¿qué tal?
This has been the Y-Files. If you had fun or learned anything, do him a favor, subscribe, comment, share. That's
Do all
really
that if you
helps
guys
the channel.
like him.
And like most topics we cover on the channel, today's was recommended by you. So
I
if
like
there's
it.
a
That's
story you'd
good.
like to see,
I like how,
or-
like you said, he breaks down things down. And
Yeah, man, that was freaking awesome. I loved
his
it.
explanations, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I get that one. I think that was the best freaking video I ever seen since I started this. I mean, I liked it.
We had some good comedy in there too. It's funny.
Yeah, that was really good. I hope everybody likes this video, man. You want to know more about this guy? I left the link down the description. Go check him out. If you like it, go subscribe. Leave a comment. All that good stuff, you know. But man, I never thought he was gonna break it down like that. I mean, that was so freaking cool. That was an awesome video. Oh man, that was a great video. Maybe next time, you know, when I get back around to it, I'm gonna look them up, see if I can find some more stuff about cryptid or UFOs and stuff by this guy, and you know, let's see what else he could come up with. You know, what other things he'll break it down for.
Right.
Man, but that was a great freaking video, man. I like that one. I really did.
It was entertaining. Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah. Yeah, so the fish was pretty good too. What's his name? Hasselfish, something like that. Hacklefish.
Hacklefish.
Yeah, I like that guy. I like the alien that was behind him too. Awesome video, man. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's sponsored by nobody because I'm not sponsored by anybody. Hopefully Donnie will be here next week. Well, you said when it's the next following Saturday we'll be out, right? So okay, cool. Then I'll see you guys next week Friday. You guys have yourself the best weekend. Travel as you can. Stay healthy. And I love you guys. Thank you for supporting my channel. Eric, thank you for coming in if you're still around.
God bless y'all. Have a great night.
And I'll see you guys soon, man. Later.